Hey, welcome. We've heard from so many of you about a couple of really big challenges that it turns out are super connected. First, how do you quiet a mind that just will not stop spinning? And second, how do you find your people in a world that sometimes feels, well, pretty isolating? So today, we've put together a two-part guide to tackle exactly that. We're going to start with the overthinking cycle, and then we'll jump into some really practical steps for building friendships as an adult. So let's just dive right in.
You ever have that feeling, where you're in a room full of people, but you still feel completely alone? It's a weirdly common thing. And what we're going to explore today is this idea that the real path to connection doesn't actually start out there with other people. It starts right here, inside our own heads. The journey to finding your people, believe it or not, often begins with getting your own mind straight first.
So let's kick off with part one, the overthinking trap. We all know this place. It's that frustrating feeling where your brain feels like it's running a marathon, but you're not actually moving an inch. And the big question we have to ask ourselves is this: are we genuinely problem-solving, or are we just spinning our wheels?
This definition right here really nails it. See, unproductive overthinking isn't about planning. It's not about being prepared. It's about getting stuck. It's replaying conversations, wishing things had gone differently, or dreaming up every single thing that could possibly go wrong. And the most important part of this whole definition is that last phrase, without identifying actions. That's the crucial difference, right? It separates a thought that helps you from one that just keeps you trapped.
I think what's so helpful about this is seeing it laid out side by side. On the left, you've got productive thinking. It's all about moving forward, finding solutions, making plans. But look at the right side. That's the loop. It's repetitive, it's negative, and it keeps you totally focused on things you can't even control. And what's the result? You just end up feeling completely powerless.
So, the big question is, how do we actually break out of this cycle? Because just telling yourself to stop overthinking, well, we all know that doesn't work. We need real, practical tools. So this next part is all about your mental toolkit. We're going to look at two super powerful techniques from cognitive behavioral therapy that are designed to help you get back in the driver's seat. Okay, tool number one is the STOP method. This is absolutely brilliant because it creates space, a little pause between that emotional trigger and how you react. First, you just stop. Literally. Do nothing. Then take a nice, slow breath to calm your body down. Next, observe. What's actually going on in your head? What are you feeling? No judgment, just notice. Fourth, put it in perspective. Ask yourself, is there another way to look at this? Is this thought 100% fact? And then finally, you proceed. But now you're choosing how to act, not just reacting on impulse.
And our second technique is called cognitive restructuring. This one is all about actively challenging those negative thoughts. So first, you have to catch it, that automatic knee-jerk thought like, I'm definitely going to fail this. Then you become a detective. You look for the evidence. What facts support this thought, and what facts go against it? And based on all that evidence, you create a new, more balanced thought. It's not about toxic positivity, it's about getting closer to the truth of the situation.
All right, so now that we have a couple of tools for our inner world, let's pivot and talk about the outside world. Let's get into why making friends and keeping them can feel so incredibly hard as an adult. And listen, the most important thing to know right off the bat is what this subtitle says. It is absolutely 100% not just you.
And this number right here is a perfect example of why. According to a study from Oxford University, that number, 2, is the average number of close friends we lose when we get into a serious relationship. I mean, think about it. Our lives change, right? We get busier. We might move. It's not some kind of personal failure. It's just a really common part of life unfolding. So this gets to the heart of it. What actually builds friendships? Well, think back to when you were in school. You had a shared context every single day. You had built-in adventures, basically. That's the social glue. But as adults, that glue doesn't just show up. We don't have mandatory recess or assigned lab partners. We have to be intentional. We actually have to create the context for those connections to happen.
Which brings us right to part 2, a no-nonsense, practical guide to finding your community. If we're the ones who have to create the context, then where in the world do we even start? Well, the answer is actually simpler than you'd think. You start with you and what you already love to do.
This list is all about sparking some ideas. Seriously, the easiest way to meet people you'll click with is to go where they are. If you love running, join a running club. You're a dog person, the dog park is your new best friend. Book clubs, volunteering, even just becoming a regular at your local coffee spot. The whole point is to put yourself in places that are built around a shared interest. That becomes your instant conversation starter.
Okay, but meeting people is only step one, right?
How do you actually turn that casual acquaintance from the hiking club into a real, trusted friend? This next part is all about how to nurture those little sparks into a genuine, lasting connection. It's all about building depth.
This table is such a great little cheat sheet for figuring out what healthy connections look and feel like. Take a look at mutual support, for instance. A green flag is someone who is genuinely happy for you when you succeed. But a red flag, that's someone who gets kind of weird or envious or just dismisses your good news. Paying attention to these things helps you put your energy into the people who lift you up, not the ones who drain you.
When you really boil it all down, the strongest friendships, the ones that last, are built on these 3 pillars. There's empathy, really trying to understand what another person is feeling. Acceptance, which is just valuing someone for who they are, messiness and all. And authenticity, being your real self and creating a space where they feel safe enough to be their real self too.
So now it really is over to you. We've talked about quieting the mind to help open the door to new people. The only thing left is to take action. And it doesn't have to be some giant, scary leap. So what's one small, totally doable step you can take this week? Maybe it's texting someone from that book club, or just saying hi to another regular at the coffee shop. What's your first step going to be?